All right. Hey, it's Brent Leary. It's Monday, but it's a good Monday. It's a sunny Monday. It's a nice weather Monday here in Atlanta. So, good start to the week. And it's always a good start when I get a chance to talk to somebody interesting about stuff that's interesting. And so, with me right now is Shilpa Reddy. And Shilpa is the VP. I want to make sure I get this right because I just said it like a couple of seconds ago. VP and GM of QuickBooks Commerce. Shilpa, thank you for joining me today.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you for hosting me here.
No, this is great because you guys just recently had a study around online shopping and small businesses, and with this time of the year and all the things that are going on with supply chains, and we get our stuff on time. It's such a critical part of the shopping season, and for small businesses to make some money. So I really wanted to touch base on the some of the things that came out of the report. But before we do that, why don't you give folks a little bit of your personal background?
Yeah, sounds great. Hello, everyone. As Brent said, I am at Intuit. I lead the QuickBooks Commerce segment. We are focusing on helping small, medium business with omnichannel commerce shopping tools, if you will. I joined Intuit in March of this year, and prior to joining Intuit, I worked at Microsoft and Amazon for 16 years. Have worked across different parts of the e-commerce stack and gaming divisions. Just a bunch of diverse experience overall.
Nice. So why don't you give us a little bit of the background to the study you guys did?
Absolutely. As you mentioned, Brent, this is the upcoming holiday is the biggest peak holiday season for our customers who we focus on, the self-employed and small businesses. And so, as we are gearing ourselves and helping, we wanted to survey and understand what are the shopping trends and behaviors that are coming up. So we surveyed about 2,000 US adults to understand in the coming holiday season what are the evolving trends. So we have a bunch of key takeaways, if you will, from that particular survey that I'm really happy to share as part of this exercise with you.
Absolutely. So one that kind of just stood out to me, I'm going to pop it up here if I can share this. This guy here, this number here, more than 4 in 5 online shoppers have experienced technical issues at least once or twice while shopping or browsing on a small business website, posing a threat to sales conversion. Now, small business sellers, we don't want any threats. We don't need no threats. Uh, what did this kind of tell you about the readiness and the ability for us to maximize on conversions? Because hey, this holiday season, we're going to have to maximize as much as possible and stuff like this.
Yeah. So first of all, I think if we take a step back and talk about, hey, what did we learn from our survey, right? I think the
Yeah.
first thing that we learned is the appetite and even more willingness of consumers to shop small this holiday season. We have seen 93% of consumers reporting that shopping small with the local businesses, they are really wanted to support small businesses this upcoming. Now that poses a whole opportunity, opens up a big opportunity for small businesses. And we also learned from our consumer research that 48% have expressed willingness to try small businesses in the upcoming holiday season. Now, as we think about the importance of it, this is a huge opportunity as well. Then, when we talk about what are some of the fundamental shifts in the consumer shopping behavior as they enter into the holiday season, the big shift really is about online. Our consumers have indicated, based on their experiences during pandemic, a lot of openness to try online. 83% customers have indicated that they want to shop online this holiday season. Now, as we think about, as you rightly alluded, when we talk about selling online, the first and foremost thing that comes to the mind is the quality of the website, and customers expect the quality to be really stable, that the websites to be space stable, high quality, to be able to discover the products that they want to discover and be able to purchase effortlessly, smooth, and reliably. So as you showed the stats, 83% of the customers have expressed that when they try to shop online, they have experienced at least one or two technical glitches in shopping. Now, that is a serious problem because almost 58% of the consumers have also said when they encountered such issues, they actually bailed on shopping. So the purchase didn't
Mm.
happen. So it's a loss of sale for business, and that is a pretty big deal.
Wow. Yeah, thanks for bringing us through a lot of interesting information. Yeah, what was it? Just feels like, in terms of kind of this holiday season, it's even different from last holiday season. It was still in the pandemic, but this year, as we seem to be coming out of the pandemic, we still have these supply chain issues. How do you think that's going to impact the ability for these sellers to maximize on the ability to reach customers, get the customers, make it easy for the customers to understand kind of, yeah, here's what you can order, here's how you can order it, but also the expectations around, it might take you a little longer to get it because of things that are really out of our control.
Yeah, it's a great point. I say so. I think there's a couple of things, right? You asked about discoverability, and you also asked about expectation in light of the impact that we are seeing. So the first one about discoverability, we also our research report also informs that 63% of consumers discover small businesses through online channels, whether it's social posts from friends or whether those are Google and Apple maps that they find, or even word of mouth advertising. So, being there online across different channels, taking advantage of the network and social network is very important for our small business customers to be discovered by consumers. Now, when we talk about consumers' appetite itself, right? So, the expectation, especially holidays, is a sensitive time for our consumers as well. It's the time they're celebrating with their friends and family. And so they want both the selection and they want the convenience and they want on time delivery for holiday season because it's the gifting period. And so now combine that with the social impact that we have with supply chain. And this is by far probably one of the most impactful season that we have seen when it comes to supply chain for our small businesses. Because of the supply delays, procuring inventory and being able to predict inventory upfront is a big challenge. Besides, having an ability to understand what products are you expecting to be sold on what channels, whatever sales channels that our small businesses are using. So having a holistic understanding of the products that they are selling, the consumer demand across these different social channels, and being able to plan in advance what products do you want to stock up by how much. So inventory planning, being proactive about it, being upfront about planning, and working with your suppliers to understand what challenges are they facing in terms of the actually supplying the either the raw material or even the products for you is a second critical thing I would think small businesses must be focusing on. And as you mentioned, setting expectations, as long as we have great way for, and we also see this, right? Many of our business owners, they try to, plan their inventory and goods, everything through paper, pen, spreadsheets, etc. And it becomes even harder when you do not have predictability of the inbound and you don't have predictability of the outcome, which is how many, what is the demand and what is the supply. Today, we are in a dichotomy where supply and demand are moving in an opposite direction. And that puts our small businesses in a very difficult situation to manage.
One of the positives I think that was really illustrated in the study is that it feels like consumers are more into choosing smaller businesses this year. Like it feels like there's more of a connection this year between consumers and smaller businesses and smaller brands. Was that a surprise? That was kind of an interesting development. I thought it was a great development, but it was really interesting.
It totally is. It is actually a very interesting development, right? As I mentioned, our survey informed that 93% of consumers want to support small businesses, especially during this pandemic, because they think this is most important than ever. Because we have seen closely how small businesses have not only run but have been really competing and trying to thrive in the environment that is just so challenging over this past year and a half, if you will. So more and more, as you see small businesses around us, we all have familiarity with small businesses, right? We know a small business. We are either a small business owner ourselves, or we have somebody in our friends and family who is a small business. We have seen foundationally how small businesses are core to our economy. I mean, from a global landscape perspective, there are over 800 million small, medium businesses and self employed in the world. Of those, these small businesses actually create 80% of the total economy, 60% of the total jobs. And so the more you see the impact that and they compose of 90% of the total businesses altogether. So it's very meaningful, and we have seen how challenging it has been through the pandemic for the small business owners to. There is a demand challenge before, now there's a supply challenge now. So there has been a lot of challenges that they've been experiencing. However, they've been really fighting at it. They've been there, they've been kind of trying to support their own community despite of the odds. So there is more and more interest for the consumers to want to be there and to really help small businesses, especially during these uncertain times.
And that whole local, it seems like maybe, and I'm not sure, but maybe because of some of the news about these supply chain issues, that people are maybe saying, you know what, I want to make sure I get my stuff. So maybe I should be looking to see if I can get a local provider of something that, I might have gotten, from going online, and it might be coming from somewhere far away. But now with these supply chain issues, maybe people are saying like, "Hey, I want to find somebody local who can do it because I want to make sure I get it on time at this point."
That is so right.
So when you think about any additional challenges, for example, like you mentioned social media advertising, there's a lot of upheaval going on with that. How is that impacting the ability of small businesses to kind of sell online and sell efficiently online? Are we seeing any impact on what's going on with some of the things that Apple's doing, and these privacy changes? Are we seeing that impact the way small businesses are able to use social media and use advertising?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first and foremost, I think there is a lot of innovation across these different platforms because consumers shopping trends have also been evolving with all the social transformation, if you will. So it is critical for small businesses to be where their customers are, which are the consumers. And where the consumers are they are on these massive marketplaces, they are on these social channels. So being where your consumers are is very important. Now, being there is one step to it. And the second aspect to it is being discovered in those social channels. As you mentioned, there are billions of views that each of these platforms would have. How do you, as a small business owner, be able to do the things that are needed for you to actually be discovered in those is a big challenge as well. So as we think about ads is a very interesting opportunity as well. But again, you also need to understand the cost, the muscle that you needed. I think many of the platforms are really leaning in and investing in making these tools for the small businesses helpful. And so that actually helps both in terms of being there where the consumers are and being also discovered by the consumers across these platforms. So I think a couple of other call outs. I think as we even in the commerce segment that we are focusing on at Intuit, when we look at the pain points of small medium businesses in this landscape where there are multiple sales channels, multiple social platforms, multiple commerce platforms, how do we equip them? How do we help these small businesses to thrive in that fast moving and innovative environment? Is really about be present across different channels. Omni-channel shopping is the way to go. We are also seeing that report from our research as well. 58% of our consumers have informed that they've looked to shop both online as well as physical stores in this coming holiday season. In fact, our report also stated that 50%, up to nearly 50% of the customers have stopped shopping at a store that did not have online presence in the pandemic. So it's a very
Hmm.
interesting shift of the shopping behaviors that we are seeing. So the massive trend that is evolving is online is critical, multiple social channels is critical. So which means having an omni-channel presence for small businesses is very important. To your point around how do you think about all the the evolution that is happening in helping customers, we are basically within the commerce segment, we are looking at through our product, we're trying to help small businesses to use a single platform through which they are able to list products in one place and be able to syndicate the listings across different channels. We integrate with several major players like Amazon, Shopify, and WooCommerce, if you will. So, and we actually also aggregate all the orders and more importantly, inventory. I think just even tying back to that, right? The moment you have a holistic view of your orders across different channels, and then you then have a way for you to know that your inventory is absolutely accurate and up to date in terms of where the sales are happening. You then will have more predictability to be able to sell what you needed to sell, not underserve or over promise to our customers, and be on top of those. So I think that there are tools, but there are also openness, if you will, that hey, I need to be present across different channels, and then taking advantage of the different tools that are out there, both from an advertising standpoint as well as from a overall shopping experience standpoint, whether it's a great website or otherwise.
All right. Are you seeing like inroads in terms of like channels like well, YouTube, but even more so like TikTok? They've gotten so much attention. I'm wondering if, and they just announced that their event. I guess that was last month about commerce and advertising. Are you seeing small businesses able to take advantage of like platforms like that to connect with their audiences?
Yeah, I'd say it's a great question. I think, as you said, right, the consumer shopping trends have been shifting from a physical store to marketplaces and to social platforms, and now video live streaming and live platforms, live shopping as well through platforms like TikTok. So it's actually very, very, I mean, like I said, as part of the overall strategy for small businesses, when they think about it, depending on the products and the type of consumers that they think their product should attract, they have to have an overall strategy about what channels are important, especially with the demographic customers that we are seeing in the TikTok. It's actually picking up the attention as well from our shopping perspective. As you said, they're also evolving platforms to help small businesses to be able to demonstrate their products, showcase their products on TikTok, have even live shows, use an influencer to broadcast their events. So there's a lot of goodness that the
Mm.
platforms are providing. But if you ask to your question on do we feel the small businesses are ready, I think and my answer is yes and no. Those who are really savvy and are open and are exploring and are leveraging those, I think are doing. But I think for the broader part, they definitely need a journey, a bit of a support from the different platforms that are out there to help them ease through that journey. It's a change that I think the change part, we needed to be part of the journey with the small businesses and help them along the way.
Wow, this has been a great conversation. And as you were talking, I was thinking about this area of to kind of go along with the local selling local. What is BOPIS going to be a big thing? This buy online, pick up in store from a small business perspective. Do you think that's going to be one of the ways that small businesses could maybe separate themselves and get even more of that local traffic?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I'll say that for two reasons, right? So even when we say why are consumers shifting towards online, you're seeing three different factors. One is the convenience, right? So you can be at your doorstep, at your home, in front of your phone, and purchase anything that you want without really much effort. So that convenience is a huge, and especially everybody has seen that in action over the last year and a half during pandemic, and so that is driving a lot of shift towards online. The second one is about variety and selection. If you go to a single store, you get to expose what you have over there. Now you go to multiple online, you've got a lot of access to selection. You can research the products just online. You can discover the right products. So that selection discoverability is the second factor that's driving. Third one is about price affordability. Because of the online access selection, there is a pride of price affordability that's a big attraction also for small business owners. Now from a for consumers, now from a consumer standpoint, as they look at these dimensions of why they are choosing to, convenience, to your point, is the most important thing. First, for small business owners, not everybody may have a physical store where they have the inventory stored at a place that is convenient for a consumer to go pick up on their way to, like a mom who's dropping her kid for a soccer would want to pick up on the way. You need to have access points to provide that convenience. So consumers are more and more shifting towards, because they are basically saying, we want to buy in store, we want to buy online, we need to have omnipresence. So that choice to pick up from anywhere, buy online, pick up from store, get delivered is just so important in the shopping trends as well. So taking advantage of the networks that are out there, the fulfillment and shipping networks out there, is very important for small businesses, and taking advantage of what access locations can I store my inventory, or can I actually make for pickup available, or like curbside pickups available, or what have you, is a very interesting paradigm shift as well we are seeing.
And it seems like that shift kind of plays into this whole opportunity or area around customer experience and even customer service support. Now, I know traditionally, uh, small businesses, particularly those that are like local, and they have a storefront and they're used to having customers come in, they're great at customer service face to face or customer experience. They it's natural basically to small businesses. They come in, they actually know how to build a relationship with their local customers, and it's like second nature to them. But when you think about online and them being having to be able to build similar kind of relationships, or at least hoping to build similar kind of relationships with folks that don't come to the store but could use their product or service, how how does that play a role into the successfulness of these small businesses who are selling online? It feels like sometimes they do a great job naturally when they're people coming in the store, but it's a little bit more difficult for them to replicate that to online customers.
It's a very good question. I think there's a couple of things, right? When we look at small business owners, a high level, there are those who have physical stores and have that experience, even passion, that you get to connect with
Yeah.
the customers who come by your store. You get to create that connection, if you will. Is one. Then there are other small business owners who truly do completely online, and they're comfortable with however it is. So, to address your question on the first category, which is those who have a store and are passionate about connecting, making that connections with the consumers in an online world, that is quite lost, if you will, right? Even on big marketplaces, often consumers don't even know who they're buying from. You probably have a name of that, but you just have no way to connect with them. And now,
Right.
this is where personally I think the evolution of some of these social platforms, live shopping is very, very, very interesting. So, whether it's TikToks or Instagram Lives or other platforms, I think as small business owners, you should be able to equip yourself and take advantage of these social platforms, because there you can tell your story in a live fashion, live video streaming. You can tell your story, you can connect with your consumers, and make that long lasting relationship with your consumers. So I think taking advantage of some of these, it's actually a very interesting opportunity for small business owners.
Shilpa, thank you so much for spending some time going over this study. Um, what are some of the last things you might want to, if somebody like a small business seller looks at the report, what are the things that you want them to take away and if at all possible, implement for this selling season?
Yeah. I will say a few things. One, first of all, as I informed, The survey clearly says consumers are with you. They want to shop with you. It's an overwhelming 93% of consumers want to be with you and support you during these uncertain times. 50% of consumers decided that they want to shop small this holiday season. So that's a huge good news, a
That's
bunch of
great.
opportunity for small business owners. We need to take advantage of that. How do you take advantage of it is omni-channels. Having a clear strategy is very important. Find the channels that are most relevant, both online and physical where applicable, but be clear on what channels make sense for you. Make sure that you have a very highly functional website. Take advantage of all the platforms that are out there that are helping provide that fantastic website experience, seamless, high quality reliability, so that you're not missing on a consumer shopping purchase because of technical glitches. Shipping is another one. 30% nearly customers have informed that shipping is a big critical need for them, especially during holiday season. So, finding the right shipping providers who can, or through your platforms that you're selling, who can meet the promise of your consumers is very important. So, extreme focus on shipping and making sure the quality of shipping is at what you expect and what your consumers expect is very important as well. And finally, I will say having a great end-to-end point of view in terms of what tools might help me be discovered, right? So you might have a great tool, people have openness, that's fantastic, there are a lot of tools to help you be omni-channel and present, but taking advantage of different platforms through which you can get discovered during this holiday season as a local business by your consumers, whether it's through advertising or what, so is very important. I will also add that in that effort, QuickBooks recently also, we are also launching this holiday shopping guide. As part of the holiday shopping guide, we are promoting small medium businesses. And as a consumer, you should be able to find small medium businesses through the shopping guide and be able to support your local business this holiday season.
So where can people go to find to get that local guide and also the study results?
Yeah, so we have posted those online. So the survey results is the holiday shopping report from QuickBooks Commerce. So the survey report shows QuickBooks Commerce holiday shopping report, and the shopping guide is QuickBooks Holiday Shopping Guide. So those two resources are available online for you to explore as well.
Shilpa, thank you so much for making time today. And one last question I have, because I asked this to everybody who comes on here. Do you have a favorite NFL team?
I don't.
Okay, that's good. There's only one really bad answer to that question. And if you had said you were a New England Patriots fan, I would have had to just cut this interview short. But thankfully, you're not. And I really enjoyed the conversation. And thanks so much. And once again, folks, you could go to the QuickBooks or Intuit QuickBooks site and look for those information that the guides and the survey results. Lots of really good stuff. Thanks again, Shilpa. And thanks everybody for checking me out today. I'll be back, I think it's Thursday for CRM players. But in the meantime, have a great week, day, and all that good stuff.
Thanks, Brent.